Who here has a birthday last week or the week coming up? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Everyone give them a round of applause. I'm going to get back to that whole birthday thing. So today we're going to just be talking about the fact that your career will change. Your career will change over the course of your life. I remember I started off in the music industry. I was a rapper. And then I went into banking, and then I've done other things. But these core skills that I'm going to be discussing with you today are fundamental to you being successful in life. And these are taken from some key things that were said to me, you know, when I was getting up and running at my very first job at McDonald's, just basic fundamental things that I was told, that I carried with me, because I've realized that in life, if you can live by principles, you can have a meaningful life, and if you need to adjust the principle, you can. But what you want to do is have a principle that you can apply to multiple situations and always get the outcome that you want. So I have a few proverbs that I've learned through my working career and also through life. And I just want to also stress to everybody, there's certain key human characteristics that regardless of what happens with technology will serve you well. Because people buy people. Did you notice that when you stood up and when you talked to the people next to you, you felt more energized? We are wired to connect with people. So no matter how much technology there is, and no matter how much it advances, no matter how we employ AI, we are wired to connect with each other. A year from now, you're going to be the exact same person that you are today, except for the people you meet and the books that you read. So I'd encourage everybody, be a lifelong learner. Make sure that you read. And also make sure that you get to know people. SIRM is going to give you access to people. We have a lot of employers here. They're going to give you access to information. Those are going to be the things that actually change your life. So think about who you are today, because next year this time, other than if it's your birthday this week or next week, you're not going to remember what you did this year, but you'll be a different person. One of the key things that I learned, so my second job after McDonald's, I worked on Wall Street. But when I was 16, 17, really in New York, as a young person, there's only two jobs that I could get, a messenger or in the mailroom. So I worked in the mailroom for JP Morgan Chase. And I was like most of the guys that worked in there. We would just come in and we just did the job because, you know, we wanted money. And one day, one of the senior people came down to the mailroom because he had a really important package that he needed. And he pulled me to the side. I've told this story 1,000 times, so directionally, I know it's 100% factual, but maybe some of the details have changed over the last 35 years. He said to me, he said, dress for the job you want, not for the job you have. Now, I thought it meant change the way I dress and actually iron my shirt, get a real tie that's not a clip-on. But basically what he was saying, carry yourself in a way that when you get to that next level, people will accept you. So if you're on a team, if you're working somewhere right now, and you always have that vortex of negativity, you always have that one person that always has something negative to say, always complaining about the boss, always, don't be that guy or girl. Because what happens when you get promoted? So if you're in that team of negative conversations, and then you get promoted, and then you're managing those people, you put yourself in a situation where it's going to be really hard to manage them. So everyone say, dress for the job you want, not for the job you have. The next one I would say is being completely right. I say this slowly, and I'll put it up here because otherwise it won't make sense. Being completely right and being completely wrong feel exactly the same way to that person. So think about something that you believed when you were younger, maybe in your teens or even before that. You believed in Santa Claus. That same feeling, now when you look back at it, you're like, I was just completely convinced that there was a Santa Claus. However, there isn't. But you had a certainty in your belief. If you can accept that being completely right and being completely wrong feel exactly the same to you, you will walk into every situation the way that I do. I walk into every situation assuming I'm wrong, but could be right. as opposed to assuming I'm right but could be wrong. Because that means when I'm engaging with someone, I'll engage with them with grace. I'll engage with them with a bridge that if it is proven that I'm wrong, I'm not embarrassed. For some reason in life, we feel like being wrong is going to kill us. Wars, fights, marital breakdowns usually stem from the fact that someone is dug in. And sometimes both of you are a little bit right. So everyone say being completely right and being completely wrong feel the exact same way to the person. Okay, and then this is the other one, and I think this is no, this one isn't Maya Angelou. So people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So what does that mean? That essentially means you could have any title, you can graduate from SIRM and go off and get an amazing job and have all the knowledge in the world. But if you do not engage with your team, if you do not engage with people in a way to show grace, show care, and show them that you actually genuinely want them to succeed in life, you're not going to be a good manager. You're not going to be a good leader. When I was at HSBC, I had a member of staff who came to me and he was like, I just got a job offer in Dubai. And I was like, when are you leaving? I said, look, I don't want you to leave. You're one of our most valuable members of staff, but I've equipped you to be able to be better than this. So as a person, he knew that I cared about him. He knew that I wanted him to succeed. And I did everything that I could do in order to make sure that that happened. And I think a key thing, I mean, everybody here, we have a range of ages in here. I talk a lot about purpose. What I would say is find your purpose. Your purpose is where the things you're really good at and the things that annoy you intersect. So find your purpose, because if you find your purpose, like they say, you'll never work a day in your life, because whatever you're doing, you'll enjoy it, it will be natural, you won't have to work hard at it, and you'll be able to do it hours on end. So there's two concepts of time, Kairos and Chronos. So Chronos time is the time on your watch that you're probably looking at right now saying, when is he going to finish? Kairos time is the time when you've just met someone and you can talk for hours and hours and hours and you never look at your watch. When you're working in your purpose, you will be in Kairos time. And I'll close on this. People will forget what you say and people will forget what you do, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. If you notice, I talk a lot about kind of the soft skills around being a person. So as a manager, as a leader of a business, as a startup, you can apply all of these things to your business, to your relationships, because if you're not happy at home, I don't care how successful your business is, you're not going to be happy. If you're not happy with your customers, it doesn't matter how happy you are at home, because you're going to bring that home. So do your best to just be a good person. Treat people with grace. It's okay for people to be wrong sometimes, and it's okay to be wrong yourself. But never put yourself in a situation where you view the situation as more important than the person. Because you could be the difference between that person succeeding, being happy, and not. We can all think of a negative person in our life, but hopefully we can all think of someone that has done something, said something to make us feel better. So yes, this is a career fair, and you're like, why is this guy talking about this emotional stuff? Because you are not your career. So you as a person need to be happy, you need to be functional, and one of the things that I live by is make everyone, everywhere, and everything better than how you found it. So if you always commit to doing that, that means when you're at Nando's and somebody else has left their tray, I tell my daughter, tidy it up. Everywhere I go, I want it to be better because I was there. And I just thank everyone for listening. There's going to be a lot of conversations today. And I think I have a couple minutes if anyone has a question. If not, we can stay ahead of schedule and the next person can come up. Any questions?